Mark 10:1-12. Jesus left that place and went into the region of Judea and across the Jordan. Again, crowds of people came to him, and as was his custom, he taught them. Some Pharisees came and tested him by asking, "Is it lawful for a man to divorce his wife?" "Why did Moses command you?" What did Moses command you?" He replied. They said, "Moses permitted a man to write a certificate of divorce and send her away." "It was because of your hearts were hard that Moses wrote you this law," Jesus replied. "From the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man will leave his father and mother and be united to his wife, and the two will become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate." When they were in the house again, the disciples asked Jesus about this. He answered, "Anyone who divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery against her. And if she divorces her husband and marries another man, she commits adultery." So those are the standards of God. One man, one woman, becoming one flesh, committed to each other and no one else. It is interesting that because Israel was so stubborn, hard-hearted, God kind of gave them a leniency and said, yes, you can divorce each other, write a certificate of divorce and send her away under certain circumstances. And it's interesting that God wrote that law because their hearts were hard. I don't know. It's just people, just like these guys who are testing, their hearts are hard. They're always, and testing God is a sign of a hard heart. Saying, "Hey, prove yourself. Give me this answer." Demanding God. We don't have to. God doesn't owe us anything. He's not served by human hands as if he needed anything. He's the one that gives us life, breath, everything else. We need him. He does not need us. And his definition of marriage is beautiful. It's like perfect, and it's what I think men and women both secretly, like deep down, want. They might not even realize it, they want it, but it is the desire of our hearts that God gave us. It's in his design. One man to be committed to one woman and vice versa. And God joins them together. So it's a beautiful thing, marriage. And unfortunately, the enemy is really seeped into our culture. Divorce has become about as common as breakups. They're almost expected. I'd say, like, at least in my circle of friends, it's not that to that point yet, but I do see that as it's pretty common to get a divorce. And that's the enemy. That's just what the enemy does. It just creeps in a little doubt, breaks trust, and breaks hearts. And Satan takes beautiful things like something like marriage and just perverts it, ruins it. And that's just what the enemy does. The enemy will take something like sex too. God designed sex to be so precious and beautiful, and the enemy ruins it by making just porn websites, and it's just so cheap and easy. It's just like, I mean, you can go get it's like $5 for people are selling their bodies for drugs in bad parts of town, and it's dangerous going into a bar. And, people are there for really just one thing, looking to hook up, and it's the culture that the enemy has generated, has created, has influenced into existence, and we need Jesus to bring us back to what he created marriage to be. And that's what I would love. That's what I've asked him for. Hasn't happened. But he is still working on me, and I hope that, he assumed like everyone really, I don't know anyone that's called the singleness. It's not really something anyone wants. Yeah, God will, if he hasn't given it to you yet, it's because he's still working on you, and he's got it, like, it's a process. If he gave it to you now, you'd probably ruin it. So just be patient, wait on his timing.